19-10 right now. Arkansas still trailing the Rockets. Coming up in just 3 minutes time, Florida and East Carolina right here on ESPN2. And, you know, another situation here where Will Grier...
The Florida Gators ready to go. It's a brand new day and a brand new era of Gator football here at the Swamp. Florida not ready to underestimate Pirates or poised to pillage here at the Swamp. Folks, you're watching the SEC on ESPN under the lights here at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. It's East Carolina taking on Florida. Both teams looking to improve to 2-0 on the season.
Without its most dangerous Gator tonight, Vernon Hargreaves, first-team All-American corner, punt returner, two-way player this year, injured in practice on Thursday. We're told it's a leg injury. He did come out earlier this evening to warm up. You see him fully dressed. He took a very light warm-up. Florida officials told us, though, he will not play tonight. Quincy Wilson gets the start at corner. He's a 6'1 sophomore. More interesting, though, I think, Mark, Antonio Callaway will return punts tonight. He is a freshman. It's been raining all day. The football may be wet.
Yeah, Callaway, a true freshman, so one of the storylines to watch as this game evolves tonight. Ruffin McNeil, the 6-year head coach of East Carolina, the Pirates, looking to get back to a bowl game. Remember, they played Florida real tough last year, finally losing 28-20 in the Birmingham Bowl less than a year ago, about 9 months ago. And Jim McElwain, the former head coach at Colorado State, he coached a couple of championship quarterbacks as the offensive coordinator at Alabama for several years before taking that head job in Fort Collins, and now on the sidelines here in Gainesville. Ready to go. East Carolina will receive. Three yards deep, it's Cade Johnson. And it'll come out to the 25-yard line, first down and 10 for their starting quarterback, Blake Kemp. Kemp last week was 29 of 37 passing. But those numbers a little bit deceptive as they primarily worked underneath a lot of nickel and dime stuff, Rob.
Yeah, and you know, he's relatively inexperienced. That was his first start at the collegiate level last week. A youngster out of junior college actually got the start because Kurt Benkert, who was expected to be the starter, got hurt in camp. And so Blake Kemp takes over.
They're replacing Shane Carden at quarterback from a season ago, who was one of their all-time greats statistically. First down and 10 from the 25. And a little receiver screen. There's that nickel and dime passing attack complete to Isaiah Jones, who's one of their primary targets. Picked up two. Quincy Wilson, who got the start at corner in place of Hargreaves, making the stop on the play. Rod, what kind of tempo are we talking about here?
Well, I think you'll see an upbeat tempo. They like to go fast. They ran 101 plays in that bowl game against Florida.
Wow.
I think they'd like to get somewhere around that in this ball game if they have the chance.
Second down, and they're going to blow this play dead before the snap. 101 plays. That sounds turbocharged.
Yeah, they were moving. Plus,
prior to the snap, false start, 72 offense, 5-yard penalty.
Penalty's going to be on McKinney.
they also had more than 500 yards of offense in that game. Now, this is a different East Carolina team, though. I mean, they are missing that quarterback you mentioned from last season. You talked about how important Carter was, Shane Carden, and Justin Hardy, wide receivers in the NFL now.
Second and 13, the handoff to Hairston. Hairston gained 154 yards last week, had a career-high rushing, along with 4 touchdowns brought down by Marcel Harris. Leaves them a third down coming up and about 5 to go. Gain of 7 on the play by Hairston.
One of the concerns coming out of last week was that East Carolina did not throw the ball down the field. Everything was short. And they're going to have to get the ball down the field today if they have any shot in this ball game.
Quick slant complete for the first down, and number 81 makes the catch. That's Jimmy Williams out of Washington, North Carolina. Picks up 12 in the first down.
Well, you know, remember Quint mentioned on the sideline before the game that Hargreaves is out. I would test corners if you don't have the All-American out there.
Hairston takes the handoff and ducks under one would-be tackler out to the 44-yard line. Got about a yard and a half on the play. Anzalone makes the stop.
You expect Florida to play man-to-man defense even without Hargreaves in there. And you figure you take some chances with Wilson more so than Tabor since he's the new starter.
Quick slant complete. And into the secondary, another first down all the way down to the 36-yard line. That's Davon Grayson. Picks up 21 on the play. A missed tackle by Antonio Morrison.
Yeah, Jonesy, this is the matchup we're talking about. You'll see to the right side. Wilson is locked up in single coverage, and he gets beat by Grayson that time.
Little movement up front. The fingers being pointed at the defense.
Prior to the snap, false start, 65 offense, 5 yards. Go first down.
Second infraction on the offensive line already on this opening drive. So you think offensive coordinator of East Carolina, Dave Nichol, has looked at that situation already with Quincy Wilson?
Look, when you have an All-American, maybe the best corner in the game was not out there, I think you notice.
Right.
You go, whoa, where's number one?
They back it up to the 42. First and 15. Hairston on the handoff. Hits those shoulders north-south. Gains about 4 on the play. Ivy making the stop. One of the more physical guys up front. There's a look at Hairston's numbers from last week. Had 4 rushing touchdowns. Had a 45-yard draw play on the opening series and punched in against Towson.
He's a tough inside runner. About 6 feet tall. 205 pounds. Good balance.
Second and 11. Little play fake. And another completion. Forward progress going to be marked at about the 31-yard line. Leave them with about a 3rd and 5 coming up. Tabor making the stop on Brandon Bishop. Picks up 6.
Kemp has been accurate on those short timing passes. Part of this offense. Known for that. But it does set up plays down the field if you can actually throw them. But remember, man-to-man coverage, they'll be jumping all over those short routes.
From there it would be about a 48-yard field goal. Taking a shot up top. Coverage. Caught. Touchdown, Pirates. Grayson with a great catch working against Wilson. And they may have found their matchup, Rod, like you alluded to.
Well, it's a thing that you normally think about. Who's the new guy on the block? Who's the new kid? Wilson is the starter in place of Hargreaves, and they went after him on 2 of those 3 passes, including that touchdown pass. Had him locked up in man-to-man coverage and beat him on the deep fade route.
We were wondering just a short 3 minutes ago whether the Pirates would be able to throw the ball up top and peel the top off that defense. They certainly did here. That's the first touchdown pass for Blake Kemp. Boy, they twisted Florida's cap early here. We'll be back after this. A perfect 5 for 5 passing for Blake Kemp. And Rod, this touchdown pass was right where it had to be.
Thing of beauty. 2 perfect things on this. What you're going to see with the first thing is really some great breakaway from press coverage. Top of the screen. There's your man-to-man matchup against Wilson. Grayson beats him. And now look at the protection that you get. 5 pass rushers. Kemp is clean pocket, and then he delivers a perfectly thrown fade pass to the outside over the defender right where his guy Grayson can get it, and that is a great start for the Pirates.
Quarterback out of Mesa Community College in Arizona. Remember, he only became the starter when Kurt Benkert injured his knee and is out for the season. Caleb Pratt kicking off for the Pirates. Brandon Powell back deep. Remember, Powell, as Quint Kessenich reported, replacing Vernon Hargreaves III, who's out with a leg injury. And Powell brought down, Powell, the receiver. brought down at the 17. And now we get a look at Will Greer making his first collegiate start, a 6'2" redshirt freshman out of Davidson, North Carolina. 15 of 17 last week against New Mexico State for 164 yards. The National High School Player of the Year a couple of years ago, and came in, got his weight up, got stronger during his redshirt year, went from 172 to 215, and ready to sling it right now.
In a year? Wow. That's a lot of lifting.
That's what you do in your redshirt year, right?
Eat and lift.
On 1st and 10, they're going to run it. That's Calvin Taylor. And he moves the pile for about 4 yards. Taylor ran for 54 yards last week in that win against New Mexico State.
Greer is a pocket passer, but don't let that fool you. He can scramble. He'll take off if he needs to. He doesn't take off and scramble to throw, tends to take off to run.
Second and 6. Under heat, they light him up, and they sack him all the way back at the 7-yard line. Jordan Williams, with his second sack of the season, was the first guy to get there.
Yeah, just a delayed blitz. Williams in the middle of your screen, lets the blockers take their routes, and then he just comes in a little bit late after they've declared and has a clear path to Greer.
Sets up a 3rd down and long now for the Gators.
Interesting because, you know, neither one of these quarterbacks for Florida had any real adversity last week. Greer now faced with a 3rd and 15 and his team down 7.
Callaway in motion. Little pressure off the edge. They set up the screen to Taylor, but he's going to be brought down well short of the 1st down. Back at the 18-yard line, a gain of 6 and a pretty good 3 and out for the Pirates defensively, Rob.
A huge negative play when they got the sack, changed the complexion of that drive, and all of a sudden, you know, the Pirates got off their ship with the black flags, and they're like, we're here to plunder, man. We're not here just to be spectators. We're here to play.
Johnson, meanwhile, standing back at his own 35-yard line, ready to get this punt from Connie Townsend. Standing at his own 4. The Pirates going to have good field position after this. Already leading 7-0. The big story, Vernon Hargreaves, the All-American at cornerback, not playing in this game due to a leg injury. A flag down, and Johnson is brought down at about the 43-yard line. Let's wait and see what this flag is all about. It was thrown back at the 30-yard line of East Carolina. A 58-yard punt by Townsend. He only got to punt once last week against New Mexico State.
Happens when you score 61.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 3 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 1st down. Timeout.
Well, they would have had good field position without the penalty, but they'll still have the ball when we come back to Gainesville.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Buick, proud partner of the NCAA, and Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich.
Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore chopping it up here at the Swamp. The Florida Gators down 7-0 early in this ball game. Just under 9 minutes to go in the first quarter. The Pirates came out with the opening kickoff and marched it down the field to score on their opening drive. And this is their second possession. Chris Hairston running it between the tackles. Jordan Sheard making the stop on the play. No gain. Right, let's talk about the mindset of Quincy Wilson, number 6, the defensive back starting for the All-American. Hargreaves out with a leg injury. What's going on in his mind right now? They picked on him.
Yeah, he's got to let it go. You have to forget. Not easy to do, but that's what he has to think.
They go the other way this time, and it's batted away by Brian Poole at DB, who is working against Isaiah Jones. That's the first incompletion of the ball game. But how does Wilson get over it? I mean, they went at him 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, well, you know, you kind of get used to being on an island. So the more you play, the more comfortable you are with knowing that, you know, you're going to lose one every now and then. But when you're a first-time starter, essentially, that's an issue. You think about it a little bit. There's no question. I thought about it.
3rd and 10. They set up the screen to Hairston. Breaks one tackle. That's stopped up short of the first down at the 25. Poole in on another tackle. Just a 6-yard gain. And that'll set up 4th and 5 for East Carolina. And we got a man shaken up on the field.
It looks like Tabor. He is the other corner. And that tandem of Hargreaves and Tabor, maybe the best tandem of corners in the country. And Hargreaves is already out. And now Tabor, the sophomore, is heading to the sideline with some apparent type of injury. Hopefully it's not.
Callaway back deep, the freshman. It came after Worth Gregory's punt a little bit. And it takes a bounce at the 44. It caroms out of bounds at the 42-yard line. So Will Greer will have good starting field position on the second series after that 32-yard punt when we come back. Chick-fil-A.
Well, for East Carolina, Hairston, we see him at running back. 4 touchdowns last week. Jones, a good receiver. Taylor, the workhorse for Florida, and Brandon Powell is one of those guys that could become the explosive wide receiver that McElwain is looking for in this Gator offense.
AKA Pocket Rocket to most of his teammates. And a little bit of motion and flags down on the field.
80 offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Been a little bit of a disjointed beginning for both offensive lines, Rod.
Yeah, but you know, there is this sense that East Carolina is dialed in for this game. You know, you just get the sense that they have a lot of confidence after having played Florida so well in that bowl game.
Jim McElwain right there, the head coach of the Gators, sensed it, told us yesterday that Ruffin McNeil, a good friend of his, thrives on this kind of stuff. 1st and 15 after the Gator penalty. They hand it off to Taylor. Pardon me, that's Jordan Cronkrite, the true freshman from Miami. Picks up 11 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 14, pardon me, 2nd and 4.
Cronkite played for former Michigan State star Cedric Urban in high school, who coaches at Westminster Christian High School down in Miami, your neck of the woods.
Yes. Down in Dade County, they got some talented football. And he and Scarlett will get some touches today in the backfield. There's Cronkrite again, and he was met. But he moved the pile just enough to get that first down. Picked up 5 on the play. Ruffin McNeil in his 6th year on the sidelines. Former linebacker, played for Pat Dye at East Carolina. And as a head coach, he has had a good measure of success against the Power 5 schools.
Yeah, you see, he got Virginia Tech last year after having lost to them in 2013. So he knows all about revenge and payback.
First down and 10 for Florida. Greer to pass. And it's caught. Wow, what an effort by Brandon Powell. Lined up in the backfield and made a great grab.
That's your impact player, the little pocket rocket. And how about that throw by Greer? That's the wheel route you mentioned. Coming out of the backfield, he got matched up in a mismatch against Joe Alley, who's about a 230-pound outside linebacker. And it's tough enough for a corner to stay with the pocket rocket. A linebacker has no chance.
Nice catch on his birthday. 26-yard gain, first down and 10. And that is Taylor back in the ball game now. Kelvin Taylor picks up 3, of course, the son of Fred Taylor, former great here at Florida.
Yeah, you mentioned the talent that's coming into Florida from the Miami area. That makes me think of Randy Shannon, who is one of the defensive coaches on this staff at Florida, who was the head coach at Miami and has all those great high school connections down there.
Down there in Dade County and Broward County, Palm Beach County, he can lock it down on his own. Some of the great programs, Carroll City, Booker T. Washington, Miami Central. Under 6 minutes to go. Greer has time, and it's incomplete. A flag thrown. Rocco Scarfone was covering Valdez Showers. There's a look at Scarfone. This looks like pass interference against the Pirates.
Was there contact before? I thought the ball got there before there was contact.
Pass interference. Defense number 10. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first out.
I mean, live, that looked like a bang-bang play to me.
Yeah, from here it looked like it arrived at the same time. Well, maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. Not from that angle. You thought that was early?
On the replay it was. Of course, I don't have the benefit of replay if I'm the official.
I've got DBIs. Unless there's a mugging, I don't really see it.
Yeah, you're tainted. I don't listen to you on those calls. First and goal for the Gators from the 3. Got several tight ends in on this formation. McGee and Goolsby. Taylor in the backfield lining up. He's the deep back in the eye. And it's Taylor time. But they stone him all the way back at the 6-yard line. Somebody's hat came off. Looked like Jordan Williams. He'll have to come out of the game. But Scarfone was there to assist on the 2-yard loss. Second and goal for the Gators. What do you like here on this one?
Well, you know, if you keep those tight ends in, you can use them down there. But they've made a little bit of a move with some of the personnel. Callaway has come in. He is a freshman receiver. Robinson is in. So your thought is they're more likely to throw something and probably towards the wide field.
Tight ends caught 9 passes last week against New Mexico State. Taylor in the backfield. Greer into the end zone, incomplete. No flag on the play intended for Demarcus Robinson, who's one of their big playmakers from a season ago.
Oh, but Robinson did not start tonight. Apparently had some issue, which McElwain described as taking himself out of the starting lineup as he enforced some accountability. Rumor has it, or reported in local papers, that he missed a mandatory team meal on Sunday, and the penalty for that was not starting in this ballgame.
McElwain says all of his guys have been willing and working hard since camp opened. Third and goal here. Pressure on Greer. Touchdown Gators. Robinson went right back to him. There's a flag down on the near side of the field.
Pass interference. Offense number 83.
Oh, this is going to come
15-yard
back.
penalty. Repeat third down.
They're going to take the 6 points off the board, much to the dismay of Jim McElwain. Wow, they're going to move it all the way back to the 20-yard line.
Now, when you get a flag down there, it's usually a pick play rub-off.
So it's third and goal from the 20 on a pivotal and critical call that goes against Florida. Empty formation here. 5 receivers. Greer with time. Now he's going to take off, and it's tripped up. He put it on the ground. It's loose. Still no signal who recovered the ball. And it's going to stay Florida ball, but it's 4th down. Joe Aaliyah was the one that tripped them up. Good hustle by the Pirates defense. Let's take another look at the penalty. I think we have it here.
Yeah, take a look right here. Keep your eyes right there and watch what happens.
As Jake McGee.
He is pushing off well into the inside the 5 while the ball is in the air. It didn't impact the play, but nevertheless, it was spotted and the flag was tossed.
Austin Harden from 37 yards out. Now a perfect 3 of 3 on the season. What looked like 6 is only 3. The Pirates with the lead when we come back to the Swamp. Gainesville, Florida, a.k.a. the Swamp, on the campus of the University of Florida. Mark Jones, Rod Gilmore, Quinn Kessenich. 7-3 ball game. East Carolina with an impressive opening drive and limiting the Gators to just a field goal there, Rod.
Yeah, and we already had an epic tantrum on the sideline by McElwain. Pretty good start.
Yes. Florida going to kick off here. Both teams coming into this game 1-0. Florida scoring 61 points in a win over New Mexico State last week. And East Carolina defeating Towson. And this is going to come out to the 25-yard line where it'll be first down and 10 for quarterback Blake Kemp, the junior college transfer from Mesa Community College.
You know, there was some drama this week with the quarterback position at East Carolina. Blake's the starter, but backup Cody Keith, who was number 2, apparently transfers or plans to transfer and left practice this week. And James Summers, who joined the team just a couple of weeks ago, has moved up to the number 2 spot. And the word we got before the game was that Summers is likely to play.
Summers is actually originally signed as a receiver at East Carolina. There he is on the left. Kemp on the right. And Kemp taking the snap right now. Hands it off to Hairston with nowhere to go, reversing his field. And tripped up at the 27-yard line. Nice shoestring tackle made by Marcus May, limiting that gain to 2.
May back in the lineup after having been suspended for the opener. Part of Jim McElwain's attempt to instill some much-needed discipline to this program, he says. And they had only 1 penalty last week. He had a couple players suspended, but they're back now.
Preaching the 8 keys to success to his players. Hairston this time over the left side. Sets up a 3rd and about 3 to go.
You think players can remember 8 keys?
That's a lot, man. I'd keep it at 2 or 3.
I can handle 2. You give me a couple keys, I'm all right with that.
Yeah, his point was he wants his guys to be able to critically think, evaluate themselves, and have some sustainability beyond football. Great chance for success. 3rd and 3. Hairston stopped up short of the first down. Great tackle on that fill.
Not a fan of that call. I mean, I understand this offensive line is a veteran line that's played against this team, but 3rd and 3 to line up and run at this defense, which is one of the best defenses in the country. I don't know. I'd prefer to see him throw that ball in that situation.
Yeah, great stop by Bryan. That's the 2nd consecutive 3 and out for the Pirates offensively. Gregory punting to that man, Antonio Callaway. Callaway, the true freshman out of Miami, Booker T. Washington High School, replacing Vernon Hargraves III, who's out if you're just joining us. He suffered a leg injury on Thursday and will not play today. So reported Quinn Kessenich earlier at the top of the show. Greer coming out now for his 3rd series after that 41-yard punt. And he's had 11 plays already, Rod. Going back to what we said at the top, they look at it, Coach Nussmeier, as a pitch count type of situation.
Yeah, I mean, he's trying to figure out who really should be the starter, and he's giving both these guys an equal opportunity. And this should be the last series for Greer based on what we were told this week, and we should see Harris shortly. But a different start for Greer this week than last week. No touchdowns so far.
Jordan Scarlett making his first appearance in the backfield for Florida. Number 25. Greer given time, has a man, complete, and into Pirate territory to DeAndre Goolsby down to the 40.
Well, I don't know how many times you got to see this Will Rock before you figure out they're actually going to keep throwing it. We saw it earlier. They used a different player, Powell, in the backfield. This time they used Goolsby, the tight end. Last week they used it with McGee and with Goolsby.
34-yard gain on the play.
It's on film, you got to know, right?
Well, it's a new day and age here under Jim McElwain. Last year, the Gator tight ends didn't catch a lot of passes. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. They run it. And the true freshman, Jordan Scarlett, stopped up. And they're going to say it's a fumble. One official is saying it's coming back to East Carolina. The other one is saying it was whistled down. So we have a little bit of disagreement amongst the officials.
If the whistle blew, the play was dead.
Ruling on the field is the runner's progress will stop prior to the fumble. Second down.
It's not even reviewable at that place. When the whistle blows, that's it.
Scarlett, the true freshman.
Well, you see,
Coach
he's being
Rumpf,
instructed, hey, cover that ball up. Nothing is more important than that.
Jordan Scarlett on the sidelines now, and
You fumble my football.
And we saw footballs around the football offices on springs coming out of the walls in the football offices. Literally, folks, we're not joking. This is Cronkrite, the true freshman, getting back to that, Rod. The idea being, with all the footballs planted in the different meeting rooms, it's an opportunity, I'm guessing, for them to practice holding on to it.
I would just have them watch Remember the Titans. And Denzel Washington saying, if you fumble my football, you will run a mile.
So that's just not Hollywood thing,
right.
then. Okay.
You will run a mile.
6-yard gain on that last play. Scarlett ran for 34 yards last week. Taylor in the ball game now in the backfield. Tight end in motion. Greer on a little bootleg action, wide open. Goolsby again makes a great move. Touchdown, Gators! Couple of quick scores for Florida. Field goal and now a touchdown, and they've got a 9-7 lead. Goolsby's first touchdown catch this season, and the first of his career. The extra point barely inside that left upright, but good. And things feeling a little bit more normal here at the Swamp.
How about tight ends returning to the offensive repertoire? Goolsby, 6. Wow.
Wow is right.
Well, and how about Auburn? Overtime with Jacksonville State. Almost losing that. They should have lost that one.
And
wow.
Notre Dame pulling one out of the hat in the dying seconds of their game. Hairston stopped up at the 25-yard line. What was the key on this last touchdown pass?
Well, the real key is Greer. He does an excellent job of faking with the football and then waiting for Goolsby on the shallow cross to come all the way across the field, and then simply some great running using his blockers to get into the end zone.
They've had some talented tight ends at the University of Florida through the years. Let's see how the Pirates answer here. Pass complete, forward progress going to be at the 30-yard line. They're still working on Quincy Williams, a 5-yard gain by Grayson. And working on the helmet of Hairston there. That's your #1 tailback, man. You got to get him out of the shop and back on the field. End of the first quarter in the books. Back after this. Back for the start of the second quarter here at Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville. The home crew leading by 3. East Carolina looking at 3rd down and about 5 to go for the first down. Blake Kemp, the starting quarterback, from the beginning here.
They're showing pressure.
Empty formation, 5 receivers. Has time and finds his man over the middle out to the 40-yard line. Complete to Bryce Williams, a 10-yard gain, and they move the sticks downstairs to Quint.
Jonesy, Bryce Williams is their Where's Waldo. He'll line up as an H, as a tight end, as a fullback. They'll even split him out 6'6" transfer from Marshall. He's a go-to guy on 3rd and short, and a big-time player that ECU's got to find ways to get him the ball.
They can't miss him with those flowing locks out the back of his helmet. That bounce pass incomplete, intended for Barnes. It'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up.
You know, Quinn's point is a good one. The two guys we expected to see East Carolina use in the passing attack are Bryce Williams and Isaiah Jones. Jones has been missing in action so far, and Bryce Williams wasn't to that last catch.
2nd and 10. Handed off with nowhere to go to Anthony Scott, who got his first touch of the ball game in the backfield. Playing behind Hairston, the starter. Loss of 2 on the play. And a long 3rd down coming up now from the 38.
Well, last 3rd down, you did not see pressure, although they faked it from Florida. Keep your eye on number 23, Jeremy Powell. He's a linebacker, lines up in this type of situation as a pass rusher.
Kemp going up top, but not even close. Into coverage at the 25-yard line, incomplete. It was intended for Jimmy Williams. So this Florida defense winning that time.
Is it time?
Well, there's a backup quarterback, or for today, the backup quarterback, Treon Harris, who started last week. Got the first 3 series.
And doesn't have the helmet on, so he's not looking like a guy who plans to come in this next series. Greer's already had, what, 15 plays?
Harris went 32-3 at Booker T High School in Miami last couple years ago. On the return, this is Antonio Callaway at the 28-yard line. It looks like Will Greer is going to come out for his 4th series of the ball game. He's had, as you mentioned, there's going to be 15 snaps now, a 40-yard punt, 6 on the return. Will Greer, 4 of 5 passing, 98 yards and a touchdown so far.
You know, he was coached by his dad in high school, and his dad was a pretty good quarterback himself at East Carolina. He just had a pretty good quarterback ahead of him.
Yeah. Greer, the 7th starter at the University of Florida, post Tim Tebow. We're glad to say he's back working with ESPN and the SEC network. Cronkrite in the backfield takes the handoff. Little gain on the play, and talked about Chad Greer, former quarterback at East Carolina.
Played behind Jeff Blake,
who had a great pro career.
Yeah. So he didn't get on the field as much as a lot of folks thought he might have because of Jeff Blake, but his son is getting a lot of time and has a legitimate shot of winning the job outright in Florida this year.
His dad coached him at Davidson Day School. Tough scenario sometimes, right?
I wouldn't coach my son. You coach yours?
I did.
No. How'd that go?
He just started talking to me again.
See what I mean?
Melvin Taylor in the backfield. The pass complete to Ciante Lewis, who last week was sparkling with a couple of touchdown receptions. Talked about those tight ends, both Lewis right there and Jake McGee. Goolsby already with a touchdown reception. Jim McElwain, is that one of his signatures, Rod? He likes to spread the ball around a lot in the offense?
Yeah, he did that at Alabama as an offensive coordinator. He did it at Colorado State as the head coach. They believe in the power running game, the professional passing attack, using tight ends, using backs out of the backfield.
3rd down and 4 for the Gators. Powell and Lewis lined up to the top of your screen. And that is Powell. Came out of the backfield to make the reception. Brought down immediately by Ollie. And they're going to be a little bit short there. Greer looking over to the sidelines and
can't go for it here.
The punting unit comes in.
A 10-7 game early on, a team that you're favored to beat. You know, you're supposed to act like you're the favorite and kick the ball away and go stop them and get the ball back. You don't take a chance here and maybe give them some life.
That was the 4th series for Will Greer. Johnny Townsend standing at his own 24-yard line. Well, Townsend getting a lot more action this week than he did last week, punting that football.
Delay of game, kicking team, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Coach McElwain actually lit into his team, in particular his quarterbacks, Wednesday at practice. He was unhappy with their performance, Rod, and said that some of the mistakes they made in the red zone potentially could cost them big time in games. So coming off of that win, that 61 points against New Mexico State, all was not well. He found some teaching moments.
I'm not a fan of that publicly, though. I think you do that within the confines of the team. You don't need to tell the media about it.
And a booming punt all the way back to the 18-yard line. Fielded cleanly. And up to the 25 goes Johnson. First down and 10 for the Pirates, trying to get some more points when we come back after the 50-yard punt.
I'm all about our Fed, but I'm still bumming over Serena.
James Summers now in at quarterback. Hairston gets the handoff, is tripped up, and that's going to be a loss. But there's a flag on the play. We have a brand new quarterback for East Carolina. His name is James Summers. So holding against the Pirates. Summers, as a junior in high school, originally committed to North Carolina State. Then as a senior, committed to North Carolina. Changed that commitment too when
offense 62.
He didn't qualify coming out of high school. Ended up at Hines Community College in Mississippi. And then originally signed here as a wide receiver, but it was a situation where he said, Coach, I'll do anything to help the team.
Now he's back at quarterback where he ultimately wanted to be. And because the offense has stalled, I think we've got Summers on the field sooner than we might otherwise have seen them. They've done nothing since that opening drive.
2nd and 17. And he completes his first pass to Grayson. Loose ball, it's on the ground. Recovered by Florida. Poole with the fumble recovery.
You know, and Poole has a thing about East Carolina. He is always around the football when it comes to playing the Pirates. He had a pick and a fumble recovery in the bowl game, and he comes up with another recovery here.
Oh, yeah,
right place, right time, ball is out. Good tackle by May to knock it out.
And Treon Harris is now going to get the snaps for the University of Florida. Harris, a sophomore, 5'11", out of Miami. Went 14 of 19 last week when he started the game for 215 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. Last year he was SEC All-Freshman. Started 6 games.
We should see more quarterback runs with him, design runs, and more movement of the pocket.
Taylor in the backfield takes the handoff over the right side. Just shy of the 15-yard line, picked up 4. There's a look at the numbers on Treon Harris.
Booker T. Washington High School.
Yeah, right there at the intersection of 95 and 395 in Miami.
Had a good week last week.
Yeah.
As I said, he is a guy who will extend the play. He can move out of the pocket and keep his eyes down the field and make a play for you. They also will run him. The zone read, quarterback power, things of that nature.
We are watching from the sidelines. You saw him a moment ago. Taylor in the backfield. Got a flag down.
Prior to the snap, false start, 74 offense, 5-yard penalty.
Whenever you get a new quarterback, the thought of a penalty like that is timing, Rod.
Yeah.
True or not?
Yeah, it is. And different cadence and the like. But it's really a matter of listening and paying attention.
Even when they've played a lot of snaps?
Yeah.
Each?
Even then. I mean, come on, we're talking 18 to 22-year-olds. Every 75 plays, 100 plays, pay attention to every play. You know, it happens.
Millennials. Under 10 minutes to go. First half, Harrison at quarterback. Taylor beside him. Harris with his first completion to Fullwood. Ahmad Fullwood stopped 4 yards short of the first down. Downstairs to Quint.
Jonesy, a tendency we've seen from East Carolina so far this season in the red zone, dialing up blitzes. They did it last week against Towson. They did it earlier in the first quarter against Florida. This is a critical 3rd and short here. Tough defensive decision. Do they dial up a blitz?
Yeah, you know, Quint, you're right. They just have to be careful, because if they do that, they've got a quarterback in there now who could evade that and get outside, and then you got a problem, a big problem.
Harris, no stranger to the heat and the spotlight. He went 4-2 as a starter last year. 3rd and 4. Sets his feet to pass under heat. Keeping the play alive and sacked back at the 17-yard line by Brunson.
Well, Quint was right. They came with a delayed blitz. They picked it up, did Florida, but eventually Harris got outside, but he couldn't run away from Brunson. We talked about him keeping his eyes down the field. He's looking to throw this. He doesn't want to run. But that is, in the end, the undoing for him, because Brunson was able to chase him down and make the play. So the pressure worked in that situation.
In comes Austin Hardin, attempting this field goal from 34 yards out. Perfect on the season so far. Until now. He pushes it off to the left. And the Pirates escape with a break. His first miss of the season. Pirates very much alive here in the swamp when we come back.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And Dr. Pepper and college football. It's a one-of-a-kind tradition.
One of the great things about being in this part of the country is the natural wildlife. From gator to gator chomps. Unless you're walking through campus one day and you see this guy just taking a little stroll. You know, Rod, as a resident of Florida, during the dry season, they tend to come out of the water a little bit, so you got to be aware.
I can't believe you run near those things. Are you nuts?
Some of my best friends work for animal control. First down and 10. Pirates dodging a bullet on that last series. Hairston with the carry. They fumbled it, but Florida unable to convert that field goal to get any points out of it. Jefferson making the stop on Hairston.
Yeah, they've struggled. That opening drive, man, they look good. Came right down the field, got a touchdown pass. Since then, nothing. The Florida defense has totally dominated them.
And this is the second series for quarterback James Summers, filling in for Blake Kemp. Completes his second pass out near the first down to Bryce Williams, who picks up 9. It'll be 3rd and short for the Pirates. What do you like here, Rod? Is it Hairston time? They keep him slinging it?
Yeah, you know, I'm okay with, well, they've got a more mobile quarterback now. You've got a run option with your quarterback. I like that option here. Let Summers do his own read of like, let him use his legs to help create something.
They hand it off to Hairston, and nothing doing. John Bullard met him right at the exchange point. And a 3 and out for the Pirates on the loss of 4.
Oh, Bullard and company were thinking the same thing I was. You know, zone read. He's right in here. Watch him make a move inside. He doesn't get blocked at all. Supposed to leave the end free. They left him free. Nice play.
The Pirates with consecutive 3 and outs.
Yeah, I give some credit to Jeff Collins, their defensive coordinator, who's done a nice job since that opening drive of shutting down East Carolina's offense.
Gregory punting on 4th and 5. A great punt all the way back to the 22-yard line. They get a flag down to the play. It looks like they roughed the punter, or might have run into him a little bit.
Running into the kicker, 14 defense. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Alex McAllister was the one that ran into the punter.
You know, had he been looking, he could have avoided that.
Let's go downstairs to Quint for more.
This team needs discipline. The words of Coach Jim McElwain on Friday when we sat down with him. For the last 6 years, Florida has been at the bottom of the SEC or near it in terms of penalties. Last week, a cleaner game. They only had 1 foul. But today, it's hurt them in the red zone going in, and it just hurt them right there as ECU maintains possession.
Yeah, good point, Quint. That's their 5th penalty already here in the first half. In stark contrast to last week. Pirates retain possession from the 30, 1st and 10. Summers is looking to throw it into traffic. Can't believe it wasn't intercepted. Into some heavy traffic.
Well, Summers doesn't have a lot of experience at quarterback. You mentioned his athleticism as a wide receiver. When he was in junior college, he rushed for 1,700 yards in 2 seasons and threw for 2,800. I mean, he was playing running back and quarterback, so he hasn't had a lot of reps at quarterback over the years.
2nd and 10. On the move, and boy, he got drilled, and he lost the ball. It's loose. Florida has it.
Wow, Jarrett Davis. Man, that was a big hit. Just watch the end. Now, the thing I don't like is he ducked his head at the end there. Question is, did Summers have his knees down or one knee down before the hit and before the ball came out?
Well, the ruling on the field is a fumble. They're going to take a look at it, as we will right here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from that angle. That right knee might have been down.
That's a better angle.
Boy,
it's almost the same
you
time.
know, remember, Jonesy, it has to be indisputable video evidence. It has to be clear. And that is so close and simultaneous. I can't look at that and say that it is clear that his knee was down before the ball came out.
Well, it's been a rough start here for James Summers. I mean, hasn't been given much time to make plays on the run a couple of times, on handoffs. His running backs are getting tackled immediately. One more look at that potential fumble.
Yeah, look to the right knee. That is so close. Right knee and ball coming out. Hard to tell. And so for me, I would let it stand because I don't have enough there.
Must be indisputable video evidence to overturn it.
So they have to feel completely comfortable. If you want to overturn this, you have to be completely comfortable that the knee was down. For me, as I look at that,
one more look.
One more time. Right knee.
Boom. Down.
Now, where's the ball in relationship to that? I don't have enough. I can't see enough to make me say anything other than I don't have enough evidence. I got to keep it.
There's a heck of a stick there by Jarrett Davis, as you mentioned.
Now, when it takes this long, it usually means that they are looking at the down and the distance.
And time.
And time, where the ball is, where it should be.
See James Summers there on the sidelines. He was the ball carrier on that last play. Yeah. And Jarrett Davis on the right, guy that made the big hit. Here's the call.
After review, the runner's knee was down prior to losing possession. Therefore, it'll be 3rd and 9 at the 31-yard line.
Mildly surprised. Yeah. I didn't think there was enough to overturn that because I couldn't see where the ball was once you saw the knee.
Well, let's look forward a little bit here as Summers comes back onto the field. 3rd down and 9. Rod, what do you do here to settle him down and the offense down as a whole and get something positive happening?
Well, you got to give him a couple of easy throws. The problem is that you have the defense jumping on short routes, and now it looks like you're going to get Kemp coming back in.
I guess that's what you do.
Well, you know, it's a big moment. He's never played in front of a crowd like this. He doesn't have a lot of experience. And you're at the point here where you've got to take care of the football and stay in the ball game. It's only 10-7.
Three on the clock.
Won't get it off.
Bad game. Offense for the 10. 5-yard penalty. Still full down.
Now, see, Jonesy, that started on the sideline. That started on the sideline when they couldn't decide who to get on the field, which quarterback. And then you have to see that and call a timeout.
Let's go downstairs to Quinn.
I've got a decibel meter, guys, off my phone, and it read 103 as Kemp was attempting to receive that snap. That's like sitting next to a lawnmower or a motorcycle as it revved up, or being next to a jet airplane when it takes off at about 100 yards away.
Wow.
Yeah, the danger now with this noise and an inexperienced quarterback, something bad could happen. So screen play, draw play, run the ball.
Jones in motion. Kemp steps up and throws it away. Never had a chance. And a late flag thrown back at the 18-yard line.
Intentional grounding. The question is, was he outside the pocket, and did the ball go beyond the line of scrimmage?
Intentional grounding. Offense for the 10. Loss is down. 4th down.
Well, that last little sequence not going too well for East Carolina quarterback Blake Kemp.
So he's out of the pocket. There's a receiver somewhat in the area, but he may not have gotten the ball beyond the line of scrimmage. He threw it pretty much directly into the ground. You have to get it beyond the line of scrimmage in order for it to apply that it's not intentional grounding.
Gregory and Antonio Callaway will try and field it on the run, and got whacked at the 33-yard line. He was greeted immediately upon making the catch. Cam White with the hit. A 47-yard punt. That's what you get sometimes when you avoid the fair catch call. Countdown at 5 o'clock Eastern time. Football season in earnest is off, just like Cronkite, with a first down out to midfield at the 50-yard line. Nice run between the tackles there. An 18-yard gain for the true freshman. Florida got off to a little bit of a shaky start, especially defensively. Vernon Hargreaves, their All-American candidate DB, not playing because of a leg injury. And East Carolina going to take a timeout here. First down and 10. Florida with the ball as we go back to the studio.
Chris Cotter back in Bristol over on ESPN. Tennessee and Oklahoma, and this game has been a defensive struggle. Joshua Dobbs scoring here for Tennessee. This happened quite a while ago. They're in the third quarter right now, and it is still 17-3 Vols. Nice.
Yeah, Rod, we saw Dobbs in our bowl game last year, and he was extremely impressive in their win against Iowa, the Tax Slayer Bowl, and SEC and their respective record right now.
Well, they had a huge opening week. Played a lot of cupcakes. Struggling today a bit. Arkansas was upset. Auburn should have lost, but they won in overtime against an FCS opponent. Florida struggling here. So it's a week-to-week thing. I don't think you can have these great pronouncements after one week.
You know my boy Charles Barkley is going to come after me and you now because you just said that about Auburn. Should have lost.
It's true.
Okay. Nice run here by Treon Harris. Finally getting some solid footing. Putting his foot in the ground and making a play. Picks up 15 yards, and his best play so far since taking over the reins of the offense from Will Greer.
Well, this is the added dimension you get from him. You have a mobile quarterback who can make plays with his feet. He can extend plays. He can run the zone read. He can run the quarterback power. That's something that they don't get when they have Greer as the quarterback.
First down and 10 with 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Handoff. There's to Cronkite. Another good run by him, brought down by Simmons. You know, Jim McElwain has talked about this quarterbacking situation with Greer and Harris. He says it is a true partnership. And there seems to be, at this point anyway, Rod, no divisiveness within the team. It's an interesting dynamic that, frankly, can go different ways sometimes.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a partnership all season.
Okay.
I don't think McElwain can afford that.
Jordan Scarlett in the backfield, and he takes this handoff. Picks up about 3. What do you mean by how long do you figure McElwain can keep this 2-quarterback system going?
This team has issues other than quarterback. That offensive line needs work. They're going to play some young guys. They have a stretch coming up in the SEC that's going to be tough. A 5-week stretch where they may struggle. They may lose 4 or 5 games in there, 3, something like that. And whoever the quarterback is going to get some heat. And if you're playing 2, you're going to get some heat. So I think this 2-quarterback system, you got to make a decision at some point.
First down and 10. Harris looking at the out and up. Has a man, and it hung in the air out of bounds. Incomplete. Broken up by Trayvon Simmons, and there's a flag down on the play. The pass intended for Goolsby, who is quickly becoming one of the favorite targets of these quarterbacks. McElwain said that, you know, the quarterbacks have competed, neither is separated from the other, but that's a good thing.
Illegal shift, offense number 30. Player moved and never reset. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It was on Goolsby.
You know what happens when you have 2 quarterbacks? As much as you want it to be a partnership, you have players who have their own preferences. You have dorm mates, you have family members, you have friends who are all weighing in on it. I went through that when I was at Stanford and John Elway was a freshman. Everybody wanted to know, why isn't Elway playing more?
McElwain trying to keep that external noise as mute as he can. Scarlett in the backfield. A quick out complete to Ahmad Fullwood, who's knocked out of bounds right around the 20-yard line. Picked up 8 on the play. They're going to spot it right at the 20. And Fullwood took a serious blow, is blinking. He might have had a contact lens jarred loose.
Now remember, Jonesy, once you get inside the 20, the red zone, it is all about scoring touchdowns. And Florida has not been great with it the last few years. They haven't been great with it tonight. But you have to get touchdowns.
There's Scarlett trying to do it. And Scarlett brought down at about the 17. Picked up 3. It'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up. And there's a look at their efficiency in the red zone last year.
59%. Now the really good teams, they're 75% or better.
Wow.
And so when you're down around that, I mean, this is why you're losing. You can't give away touchdowns. You can't settle for field goals. You need touchdowns.
Well, they got a 3rd and 4 coming up. And 0 for 2 in the red zone, touchdown-wise today. Harris at quarterback. Pass complete to Powell with nowhere to go. And it's going to be 4th down coming up for Florida. Loss of 1 on the play on the completion to Brandon Powell. That play never really got going, and Austin Harden will come in and try and attempt a field goal. He missed his last one.
Not a good sign for this offense. I mean, they've struggled a lot more today than they did last week. Of course, they had Townsend State, and we should have expected 60 points or so, 61.
And mentioned Harden missed from 34 last time. This one coming from 35. He made one from 37 on his first attempt, and he is now 1 for 3 today. An early gift, 2 of them actually, for East Carolina.
Shades of last year.
Things got a little bit more interesting, folks. From the 20-yard line, Chris Hairston in the backfield. East Carolina, after the second missed Florida field goal, still down by just 3.
They're struggling on first down. They have to generate something on their first down play.
Blake Kemp hands it off. Hairston trips behind the line of scrimmage as we go to studio.
All right, Mark, Outback Halftime Reports coming up in just a few minutes. So many teams trying to survive on this day, particularly in the SEC. One did not. That's Arkansas. We'll show you highlights of that one. Notre Dame, serious injury for them. We'll tell you where the Irish go from here. And we got a little no-huddle action as well. Quick highlights all at halftime. Coming up.
Speaking of quick huddles here, quick pace by the Pirates. This pass complete to Isaiah Jones, who's been conspicuous by his silence so far today, Rod. He's a big weapon for them, isn't he?
Yeah, and they haven't really found a way to get him the football. That's his first catch, I believe. His dad is Robert Jones, former 3-time Super Bowl winner with the
East Carolina.
Cowboys.
Their second time
Going
out
to
of
need
the
some
half.
production out of him if they're going to get back in this thing. College football.
Yes.
SVP is. Yep. Loves
3rd and
his
7.
Terrapins.
3rd and 7 for the Pirates. Kemp completes it to Jones, just as you said, Rod Gilmore. He would have to become more of a central part of their attack. 16-yard gain, first down. Time running out on them, though. Pass incomplete to Bryce Williams. Clearly an incomplete pass.
Second down.
East Carolina with 1 timeout remaining.
And, you know, at this point, Jonesy, I'm not sure it's worth it for East Carolina.
No.
I think you take a knee, you get out of here. You're down 10-7. You've been struggling on first down, and that's the #1 thing you have to figure out at halftime. How to generate something on first down so that you're no longer in a hole on 2nd and 3rd. They've run 12 first down plays, 0 yardage.
Doesn't sound like you can win football games that way. Kemp back to pass. And it's incomplete with 4 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, take the knee and go in at halftime. I mean, right now you're rolling the dice. You've got a chance for something bad to happen. As aggressive as this Florida defense has been, they're coming after you. They're hitting folks like crazy. The ball's been on the ground 2 or 3 times, and they've been lucky that they haven't lost it every single time.
3rd and 10. Hairston picks up about 5, and that'll do it for the first half of play. Florida down 10, up 10-7 as we head back to the studio for the Outback Steakhouse halftime report. Guys, the Pirates aren't just gator baits.